Grab your glue gun and ribbon. It's time to create at the Home Decor Crafters Summit. Enjoy 35 inspiring workshops led by talented speakers. We have amazing giveaways that are happening now. Register today for your chance to win and get your free ticket today. And if you want to keep the workshops, upgrade to the VIP ticket for lifetime and instant access with exclusive bonuses. So grab your glue gun and let's stick together for some crafty fun at the Home Decor Crafters Summit.
Welcome back.
Yay.
Welcome back to some of our speakers, to some of our attendees who are watching. I can't believe this is the last session. I feel like we should all just take a moment of silence. However, there's still workshops that you can watch through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning Central Time. So welcome. If you are new here, my name is Shelly and I'm with We Can Make That. I'm the host of this year's Home Decor Crafters Summit. And with me today is three of our speakers, and we're going to talk about some crafting tools. So these are our favorite tools we use every day, things that help us stay sane, and some that are just fun, right? Okay, we'll just quickly go around and tell about yourself, and then we'll jump into some of our tools. So Elena, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Elena Anderson with Black Sheep 303 Creative. I had the little vinyl planters on Tuesday, if you saw my presentation, but I am probably more well known as a card maker, and I'm a Cricut person, or a Cricut / electronic cutting machine person. So that is, those are the crafts I make. And normally I do cards. So most of my favorite tools are somewhat card related in some way, shape, or form. And I am also a big fan of the Joy and the Joy Extra machines from Cricut. So in the past, I have done a Cricut Joy Summit. And I have some specific tools just for Joy and Joy Extra users today.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Terry, do you want to, losing my voice. Terry, do you want to jump in?
Sure. I'm Terry Johnson of Terry Johnson Creates and All Things Silhouette. I started teaching silhouette classes when I closed down my sewing and embroidery store in about 2012, 2013. And for years, I held in-person events, All Things Silhouette conferences, where we would have hundreds of people participate. But during COVID, we transitioned to online. And so now I have an All Things Silhouette Club, which each month we have a minimum of 3 projects that you can design, learn the software of Silhouette Studio, and then make the projects. But it's also a good club for any user of an electronic cutting machine, like Elena said, that can import SVGs, because you can design in Silhouette Studio and save it as an SVG. So, and then I have online summits and conferences. So I'm going to share with you today what one of my favorite tools is. My class for this summit was an air-dried clay trinket dish. So I hope you will check that out if you haven't done it yet.
Awesome. I am glad that you could be here, and I'm glad last time we had little tech problems, but I'm glad we got all the ones worked out. All right, Michelle, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Michelle from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. And if you're not familiar with 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, we are a huge store full of cardstock. That makes sense, right? But what's special about us is while we do carry some scrapbook paper, like pattern papers, we have a giant assortment of regular cardstock. So we have textured smooth, we have foil cardstock, we have glitter cardstock, we have everything. So if you are looking for some specialty papers or even the basics, we've got it all over there. So, and our in-house brand is Encore Cardstock, which is made for cutting machines. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited. And let's just jump right in with our first tool. Does somebody want to jump in and go first? I feel like
I will
on people. So
I love jumping in. I'll always jump in. Okay, so for Cricut Joy and Joy Extra users, since you probably can't cut envelopes, because usually envelope files require a 12 by 12 mat, I recommend, this is the We Are Memory Keepers 1, 2, 3 punch board, and it lets you punch your own envelopes and make little gift boxes. You don't have to get, this one is more expensive because it does two things. There's also one that's just an envelope punch board. And like what you do is you figure out, it has a chart, you figure out the size of envelope you need, and then you put your paper in over, you cut your paper down to what it says over here, and then it tells you where to start scoring, and it comes with a scoring tool. And then you line it up under this thing and you punch using, I'm trying to do this backwards. You punch here and it'll cut like a little divot into your paper, and then you just flip the paper around a bunch of times and continues like punching, and then you score down the line here to create the score lines, and then you can make your own size envelopes for pretty much any size card. And that comes in really handy for me. So if you don't have a 12 by 12 machine, that can be really handy. And it can also just sometimes be easier than cutting out a fancy envelope.
That sounds like something Shelly needs for her craft room. I know.
Me too.
We should put the disclaimer up. We're not responsible for your shopping
Right?
Yeah.
shortly after this one. So that's fun. And you never have the right envelope, or sometimes it's fun just to have an envelope that's a fun color. If you're going to go all that work to make a card, it's fun to have a cute envelope.
Or if you make like a weird size card, you can make your own envelope.
So here's an example. I made this card for daffodils, and then I printed out this paper and made this envelope to match it.
Oh, cute.
Cute.
Yeah. So that's a fun example of an envelope.
Yeah, that is very cute. While you're up, would you like to talk about your first item that you have to share?
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I have a lot of favorites, but the one that I told Shelly I would share about today is the electrostatic mat. Like I said, I use Silhouette, and this is a mat that works with the Silhouette Cameo 5, and it has also on the Curio 2, and I believe the Portrait 4. But it is just what it says. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to hook it up to the Silhouette, but instead of it, let me get it right here in front of the camera. Instead of a sticky mat, you have this mat right here. It has a 12 by 12 protective cover, and it lays down right here on your mat like this. And then you turn the power on. Right down here is a power button when it's connected to your machine. And then it forms an electrostatic field that adheres your cardstock or vinyl, but particularly cardstock, right to this mat. No sticky mat involved. It secures it. It won't move. You can try to move it with your hands, and it is amazing. And for me, it has been a game changer, and it just cuts beautifully. And then you lift off the excess of the cardstock, and all of your pieces are laying right there. When you turn off the electrostatic field, you just pick up your pieces that you've cut with no sticky, no residue, no tearing. It's amazing. I love it. And I'm going to show you a couple of cards that I've done with it. Recently, this is a Valentine's card that we did. These are all projects, as was the little daffodil from our All Things Silhouette Club. But again, I cut this on the electrostatic mat. So after it cut, I picked up the white. All those cutouts were left laying on the mat, and I didn't have to weed anything or punch it out or peel it off of a sticky mat. Here's a version with some gold glitter cardstock. I also use this. Recently, we made some light up cards for one of our club projects. And here's an example. This was all cut, has a little light right there. Oh, aren't they cute? I have several of them here, all cut on the electrostatic mat. And here's another one. This is a birthday one. So all these little pieces, all of this was cut. This was done in print and cut. But this is the one that I think is the most impressive for the electrostatic mat. Again, it is a light up card right there. Cute. But all of these little pieces, all of this glitter, all of these intricate palm trees, the Holy Family, all of this was cut. I'm trying to get it where it focuses on the electrostatic mat. And so, there, is it, folks? There you go. So it's amazing how intricate you can cut, and you don't have to worry about using a spatula to pick all those little pieces up off of a sticky mat. It's just you turn off the electrostatic field and up it pops. Now, it needs to be something flat. So it needs to be a sheet of cardstock or a sheet of vinyl or HTV that has not been on a roll. If it's curled like this, it's not going to lay flat. But if you have sheets, it lays really flat, then you're good. You could, you can cut vinyl or cardstock, but not anything that's been on a roll. Although I have been known to push it and just tape it around the edges because I didn't want to use a sticky mat. So I just find it a game changer, and it's my absolute favorite thing. When Shelly said to come up with your favorite tool, I knew this was it. So I love it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I do have a couple.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, it is with a Silhouette Cameo 5. It comes on a Curio 2, and I believe the Portrait 4. It is an optional accessory with a Cameo 5. It comes built in to the Curio 2, but it is an optional accessory. It's $99. Normally retail, sometimes it's on sale. So yeah, I love it. I love it. So in terms of machines, I see somebody ask that can you use it with fabric? Not with the rotary blade. And I don't really think, Diane, that it holds it secure enough, the fabric, to cut. You cannot use it with the rotary blade, just with a regular ratchet blade. The light up, does it work on vinyl? Yes, absolutely. As long as it's not curly like this. If it's curling up, it has to lie absolute flat for that electrostatic field to suck it down. It has to be flat. So anything that's curled like that vinyl on a roll, it won't work with. So will it weed for us? No. Well, it doesn't weed for you, but if you have a really nice cut, it just lifts right up. It is, Mary. It's definitely a game changer. I'm looking at the messages. I'd be happy to share a link. I'll look it up for those little lights. They're awesome. They're so much fun. But yes, it works with vinyl and HTV. So, okay, it does not have a grid. That's the only thing. It does not have a grid, which is unfortunate. I have seen people take this protective mat and use a Sharpie, and they write their grid settings or their numbers on that. But that's just too much like work. So unfortunately, it does not have a grid. I'm hoping it will come out until in the future with a grid markings on it. Or you could, when they refigure it, you could have them printed on the base, and that would be ideal. But no, it does not have a grid. So yeah, it really is a game changer. I just can't believe I try so hard to only use it. Like when something's curly, I'm like bending it backwards and taping it down because I just love not having the sticky on the back. How many things have we torn, or how many things have stuck to your mat? So yeah, I'm looking. Is the machine less?
I have a question. Oh.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Terry. Can you use it other than on 12 by 12? Like, can you put a 6 by 6 sheet on there? Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Cool.
You need this, Michelle.
I have been really curious, but I haven't tried it.
Yeah, no, it's you can put anything on there. Of course, you just have to position it right in the software to match up with where you've put it. But yeah, I'll put 2 or 3 different colors. When I did this card, I put, a piece of blue, a piece of green, a piece, all around the mat. Just make sure that it's all stuck down well. Yeah, you just have to make sure you turn on the electrostatic mat. There's a little button right here on the end of it. And sometimes I get excited and shove it all in and ready to cut, and I haven't turned it on. And you'll know when that happens because your stuff goes sliding. But yeah, and then when you pull it out, you just turn it off. sometimes if you're ready to complete another job, it'll turn off automatically. So you have to remember to turn it back on. But is it less aggravating than a Cricut? I don't know what to say how to answer that. I have only used a Cricut once or twice way back when, so I can't really answer that. I think it's a pretty user-friendly machine. I personally love it. And so I guess I just can't give a real answer to that. I'm not a Cricut user.
I can actually answer that if somebody, since I've worked with both.
Okay, great.
I don't have the Cameo 5. I have the Cameo 4. I have been eyeballing a 5 and that electrostatic mat. So now I'm thinking I might need one.
You're a card girl, Elena.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But I both have great positives and some negatives. So if you are not very tech savvy, I think Silhouette Studio is like an amazing program, and you can design full-blown SVGs in it.
Right.
But you can be intimidated by all of the tools that it has if you're like a brand spanking new person. But it does do things, I think, somewhat easier than the Cricut in the terms of you don't have extra steps you have to do. Like you don't have to attach score lines to the back of the, to the cardstock or whatever. Right. You don't have to change things to draw, like to get things drawn. You do that at the end when you're doing the settings for how you're going to cut it or whatever. I personally think for like, if you're an absolute beginner and never used an electronic cutting machine before, I do think the Cricut is like an easier, like less intimidating software. And like the blades, I think, are kind of easier to use generally as far as like picking the settings for cutting materials. They've tried to make that pretty user friendly, not that it's always accurate. But the Silhouette's a little more technical just because sometimes you have to set like the depth of the blade or those kinds of things in the like settings menu at the end before you send it to the machine. And you do have to kind of go back and forth, like whereas Cricut will like put everything on mats for you all at one time. And then you can just do all the cutting, like just one mat after the next. With Silhouette, you put the items on the mat on the screen. So like you have your cutting mat basically on the screen. And so you can see exactly where you're putting things,
right,
where they're going to be on the mat when you cut them. Right. You're seeing that on the screen, which is really nice. But it does mean that like you do the first mat, like let's say you want to cut all the white pieces and you arrange them and then you send that to the machine and it'll cut it. Then you have to go back to the software, take all the white pieces off, put all the green pieces on, or however you want to do it.
Well, you can open multiple mats. You can open
multiple. True. That is true.
Open multiple tabs. Put your green on one tab, your white on the, so on and so forth. Or if it's small, you can put multiple pieces on one.
Oh yeah.
And the software is free to download for the basic version. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked if it was free, so you just go to silhouetteamerica.com and you can download the software free. There are certain features that are only available with a paid upgrade. But those paid upgrades are one time. Like to go to all the way to Business Edition, which is their highest software, it's $99 full price retail, one time, lifetime, and you can put it on 3 devices. But I always find it on sale. I'll provide a link to the upgrades. I might even be able to find it as much as 50% off. Yeah. So there's no subscription. And it is not cloud or internet based. So you do not have to be connected to the internet in order to use it. Now you do to download designs, of course, but you don't have to be connected to the internet to use it. So if you're at a scrapping retreat and you have poor reception, you can still use it. Somebody else said, is the software easier to use? And I understand exactly what you're talking about, Elena, but it's all what you get used to.
Yeah.
Because if I watch tutorials with Cricut software, I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? It's so much easier in Silhouette Studio. So I think it's what you get used to. Yeah. Like I don't understand attach. I don't know what that means. Or slice. But a lot of times it's just terminology that you get used to and learn.
Yeah.
So whatever software you're using, you just need a good instructor and tutorial to learn how to use
Yeah.
it.
To join. Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. And when people ask that question, I think it reminds me of when my mom says, will you help me do this on my phone? And I have an Apple and she does not. And I'm like, well, I can do it on mine.
Right.
It's what you get used to. So if you're not comfortable with it, if you're, it was
Yeah.
funny. Somebody said they were not on speaking terms with their Cricut right now, then maybe it's time that you upgrade to a Silhouette just to get that.
Well, I
that
think everybody feels that way from time to time, you know.
Right. Yeah, all of my craft supplies have been in timeout at one time. Or
And
another.
you could say Silhouette is quite less. It's like quite a bit less expensive than Cricut, at least for like the bigger machines.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to have a subscription. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you need a subscription to Design Space to use their designs?
They have some free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you have cartridges, those ones that you've paid for are free in there when you sync them.
And
I don't use their design, so
the other thing about Silhouette is when you purchase those designs, you own them. You can export them and you can use them elsewhere. You know, you can use them in other, you know, on any computer. Do I use the software on your iPad? I generally don't. But Silhouette has just released a new software called Silhouette Web, and you can use that on your iPad. There's also the Silhouette Go. The Silhouette Go has a lot less design features. It's primarily for importing and maybe a little editing and then sending. It's not really a design software. So 9 times out of 10, I'm designing. So I like to use it either the Silhouette Web, which you can just go to Silhouette. I think it's Silhouette Web. I'll get the link and put it up. Or I use it on my desktop or my laptop. Somebody asked, Vanessa says, if you're familiar with machine embroidery software, you won't have trouble with your Silhouette. And that's exactly right, because I come from a machine embroidery background. Also, the Silhouette Studio business or designer plus edition will open most embroidery machine formats. So it will open, you know, if you have a Bernina tends to be proprietary, but pretty much any other embroidery format, it will bring your embroidery designs into Silhouette Studio, and you can then cut your machine appliques in Silhouette for your embroidery. So it's very much an Apple Android technology usage. Yeah. So I really don't know how to answer that. If it's how hard is it to transition? I guess part of it depends on how steeped you are in the software of Cricut, and you know, but I don't think it's. What do you think, Elena? You use both to transition from Cricut to Silhouette.
I think it's mindset too. Like
I think partly mindset. You have to it's definitely
like when you're
if you're familiar with certain graphic design programs too, you will think Silhouette Studio is fine. Like it's no big deal.
It's like a mini Adobe Illustrator.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of getting used to where the tools are, and that there's slightly different ways of using them than you do in Cricut. Mm-hmm. But like if you're interested in designing SVGs, I would start off with Silhouette Studio. Like I would upgrade it. Because you have to have the business edition to be able to save SVGs out of it. Right. But it's totally worth it. And like Terry said, you can find it on sale all the time.
Yeah.
And so
usually $50 or $60. Yeah. And like I said, that's a one-time upgrade, and you can put it on 3 computers. So, you know, that's great.
I would say like download the free version of the software.
That's a great idea.
And look around, see what, like, you know, can you figure out where the tools are? Like, you know, look at a couple like YouTube videos for free, you know, just to try it out. And that'll give you a feel of whether you think you can transition or not.
I'll give my link for my YouTube channel, because I have some YouTube tutorials on the software, and you can look there at those to see if it's something that you think you might enjoy using. So
I have a
You guys want to hear a funny story?
what?
I
Yes,
said, do you want to hear a funny story?
Sure.
I bought a silhouette. This is probably, I'm guessing, like 2005. It was the very first silhouette that ever came out. And it was on a QVC like craft day. And I bought it.
I
It was
bought the same one.
$400. Yeah, it was like the Robo Craft.
right.
It was $400 for the machine. And it came with a $200 like design store credit, $200, because each of the designs when it launched were $20 a piece to download. So it came with a card for 10 free downloads. Well, very quickly Silhouette realized this is ridiculous, and they went to 99 cents. So I still have credit on my $200.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
Well, you should go download right now. They're all on sale for 30% off. And then, anyway, they're all just on sale for 30% off.
That's
So,
fun.
normally they're 99 cents. And then right now they're all 69 cents. So
that's a good deal.
Bargain.
Sometimes they're more if you need a commercial license, like you're gonna
that's true.
sell them, but it's not that much more.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I think that was a fun. We dove into a Cricut session yesterday. Yesterday.
Introduce people to Silhouette.
That
if
was
they don't know it.
fun to dive into that.
I'll put my YouTube channel in the chat.
Okay, we'll drop it in the comments. So if you go check out Silhouette Studio and how easy it is to use with Terry. All right, Michelle, do you have a favorite tool?
I do. Mine is actually, well, obviously I work for a cardstock company, but mine is a Swatchbook. So this is our Encore cardstock. We have 106 colors. But the reason that I love Swatchbooks is, first of all, you can just like see all the colors and know exactly what they are, because it is hard to buy cardstock online. We try really hard to make sure our website that the colors are accurate. But if your monitor's not set exactly right, it can be tricky. So I love having a Swatchbook. The other reason I love these is because you can very quickly make cool color combinations. You can just see what looks good together, rather than like digging through all your cardstock and getting out all your yellows and your blues and trying to figure out what goes together. You can just use a Swatchbook. I also love it when you're trying to match pattern paper, if you're a scrapbooker or you're making cards with pattern paper, because you can quickly figure out what colors match your pattern paper too. So this thing just stays on my desk because I use it all the time. And sometimes I'll even see like I'll see a t-shirt with a cool color combination, and I'll like quickly figure out what paper it is that matches. So that's mine. And we actually, at 12 by 12 cardstock shop, we have the textured cardstock. We have a foil one. We have a couple glitter ones. So lots of options.
Good. And
And I can tell you from experience that cardstock's amazing.
It is.
Yes.
Yay. I love it when people say that.
Yeah, all of my cards were made out of that. So
Oh,
I love it.
awesome.
It
It's
cuts
great.
beautifully. Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are the
A lot
best.
of times I'll see people in groups, Facebook groups, and they'll be like, "Why can't I cut?" And I'm like, "It's your paper."
It is.
they don't
Yeah. It makes such
I'm
a difference.
usually like this. I'm always like, because I have very intricate designs usually, and I'm always like, use 65-pound. Don't use anything heavier than that. But this is the only 80-pound cardstock I have found that cuts beautifully without any problems.
It does.
And textured. It's
Wouldn't be-
textured
Yeah.
80
I
pounds.
love it. I just love the way it feels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coupon
And then-
code is Encore20. It's ENCORE. We'll drop it in the comments. Encore20, and you can get 20% off Encore textured cardstock.
Love it. All right. I have one too. Mine is a silicone tool holder. Do you guys have one of these?
No.
I won this at a sewing thing I was at, but I was like, what am I going to do with that? Like, it's so short. However, if it's sitting on your table,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow.
so And then these things in there, they move, they cut around, they move around. So I have this one here for my Cricut tools. And then they have a longer one, which I can drop a link to. And then that one works for all your sewing tools and stuff like that too. So I think it's kind of cool and it's easy. Like if you exchange gifts or you have a girlfriend, it's her birthday and you guys are both crafters, like this is a fun little tool to give, fun little treat. Everything about keeping our space organized around us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have a second one?
I do.
All
right. I'm a card person. So I think if you, especially for Joy and Joy Extra users, because I'm always like, you can score on your Joy or your Joy Extra with your Cricut Joy foil transfer kit. If you didn't know that, just don't put foil down, obviously. But if you don't have that, or you don't want to cut the card base with the machine, because, you know, let's say it's just a plain
square,
you know, A2 sized card base that's just, you're just cutting a piece of like 4 1/4 by, you know, 10 1/2 or 11. I can't do my math really quick. It's just easier to cut it with a paper trimmer and then score it with a scoreboard. So I am a big fan of these. I started out as a traditional card maker, so of course I have all those tools, but I still use this to this day. And like the one I have is no longer made, but I did have a link for a different one. I think get a small one. You don't need a 12 by 12. I have one of those. I never use it. And it takes up a lot of space. Unless you make really, really big cards. But this one goes to like 6.5 by 8. And so like the little scoring stylus comes off. You just line your paper up for wherever, you know, go in the corner. I'm trying to do this backwards. I should grab a piece of paper. Let's see. So you would line it up in the corner and then you just figure out, oh God, I can't do this backwards. Okay. And then across the top, it'll tell you where like the dimensions. Now this one's in inches, but there are ones that are available in like centimeters and millimeters. And then you just figure out where you're going to score. So like this one will even say, here's an A2 size card at 4 1/4. And so I just run the scoring, the score tool down, and there's these little grooves, and you can see I've got my A2 size thing marked here that will like take the tool, and so that'll mark your cardstock where you need to fold it. So like the envelope board, I think it's something that comes in handy. Like it can help you save paper, because when you cut just a plain card base with a machine, it's going to take an extra 1/4 inch off. And you know, you can get 2 A2 size card bases out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper if you don't have to cut any extra off, and you just have a paper trimmer. So I would also say a paper trimmer is another one that everybody should have.
Like 3 or 4 of?
Yeah, I actually have 2. Can you score on your envelope maker? Not really, because it's not straight. Like the scoring lines on this guy are here. So they're angled. Ugh, I can't do it. They're angled this way. So, I mean, if you were really good at like measuring and lining it up, you probably could, but
I'd say
it's like, you know, $10 for one of those scoreboards. I would just get one of those, to be honest with you, just for, you know, save you some time.
I think that's a good recommendation. Yeah. And then you'll come up with new projects too with it.
True.
All right.
Terry, rosettes, you know, like the rosettes, you can sew with those. And then,
cute little
or even just for like to pattern your paper with stripes or things like that. It's good for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Terry, do you have another one?
I do. This is a brayer. And it's really a speedball brayer for, I think, screen printing. But I use this all the time to adhere cards. If you're using a sticky mat, if you don't have an electrostatic mat, but with a sticky mat, you want to make sure everything's secure. I use it for cardstock, fabric, you know, HTV, everything. And it really does make sure that your materials don't pop up, or you don't have you know how sometimes you'll have an air pocket in the middle. This will adhere it down, and it really helps get more accurate cuts. So I like it. There's all kinds available. I got these on Amazon. I have a couple of them floating around because sometimes, I can't. Oh, look, Elena has it too.
I love this thing. I love it.
Mine's
Me
right
too.
there.
I was talking about this the other day. Like this is, I swear, my
If
favorite
you
tool.
don't- and this one is, pretty sturdy. It's heavy, so I just really like it. I
So
use
is
it
the
all
Cricut
the
one.
time. Yeah.
We had one of our coffee
Speedball's
chats.
probably less expensive, but I love this thing. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our coffee
worth
chats this week, somebody asked what tool could you like, what's your favorite tool? And that was, I think it was Brandy's, was the Brayer. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle, do you have another one?
Yes. So in my personal crafting life, sorry, in my personal crafting life, I'm a card maker and I'm a Cricut cutter, but I make Cricut cards. And so, you cut something out and you don't really know, like you just cut out more than you need. So this is what I've resorted to. I used to just leave them in little piles all over my craft desk, but I got this at Michael's and it's actually a photo organizer, but it has a little case. And then inside the case are these little pockets. And so these are supposed to be for photos, but I use them to hold my extra cuts. So I have them organized. Like for instance, this one has all my words in it. And so I can just store all the pieces that I cut and then end up not using, so that when I need them, I can just use them and pull them out and know what I've got. So these are fun too if you're making like a whole batch of cards to store as you cut to put your stuff in. I use them that way as well. But for the most part, I just use them to kind of keep all my extra cuts organized. And then when I'm making a card and I'm like, oh, I need a sentiment, I can just pull out my little sentiment envelope and rifle through and find what I need. So
That's awesome.
I like that.
That's very impressive, Michelle. And
Organization
it's all
tool.
full. It's full of cuts. So
yeah.
That's fun. That was like Kelly that was on one. She had made a bunch of flowers and then she had them all in these little pockets that were all organized. They were so cute. Okay.
That's literally the only organization I have in my entire craft room.
My entire life, right? Okay, I have one too. Another one. So this is the Crop-a-dile. This will do so many different things. So you have different, like little, brad tools. Is that what they're called? The little, what are they called?
Eyelets.
I know.
Eyelets. Thank you. It's been a long week. And then I like the little bar on here because you can adjust it. So if you're doing, like when I did graduation stuff for my kids, I could use that a lot. I have a lot of people in the comments saying I have one, right? And then you can adjust a bunch of the dimensions of it and things like that. It's also a hole punch. So if you have items that are super thick and they just don't work with your regular hole punch, this little bad boy will get her done for sure.
That punches through everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I found it very handy because when I first got it, I don't remember why I bought it, but I was like, I don't know if I'll ever use this, but I do use it a lot more often. Okay. Does anybody have a third one?
I do. I have like 12, let's see. What should I go with? Okay. So again, this is for Joy and Joy Extra users. So I have this knockoff set of markers that you can get on Amazon that fit in the Joy and the Joy Extra without any kind of adapter. Although if you've heard me talk in the past, I'm a big fan of like getting a pen adapter for the Joy machines because that will allow you to use the markers from Cricut, from, Sharpie, like you name it, like lots of different kinds. But these I like because I don't need an adapter and they come in really fun colors. Like
Those are fun.
See. And it's got on the ends, it has a 0.4 millimeter tip and then a 1 millimeter tip. So you just pull it off. And they write really well. I've had these for I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and they still work. They haven't dried out. Now you do have to kind of pop the cap back on, but they're really, really nice, and they're not that expensive. Now, granted, they are not Cricut, so you may void your 1-year warranty if you use them in the machine before your 1-year warranty's up. So bear that in mind. But it's really fun to like have pretty much any color of marker that I need available without having to break out the like adapters or anything to just stick it in my Joy or my Joy Extra.
I love it. Awesome. I might have to get them. So there's different markers. I should probably know this by now. That there's different markers that go in the Joy and the Maker.
Yeah. So like you can't use the Maker markers in the Joy. They don't fit.
Oh.
So you have to get an adapter to use those.
But
I do encourage that because like things like the watercolor markers, for example, if you have an adapter, you can put them in the Joy. If you don't, you can't.
Awesome.
But it opens up the possibilities as far as the things you can use the Joy for. Yes. Same like the infusible ink markers. There are some Cricut Joy infusible ink markers, but not as many as there are for the Maker, for example.
Yes. I think they're getting there, but I do love that set. I think it would be fun just to do for cards and whatnot too. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Nope. Okay. The other thing, I talked about this on one of the others, and that was the wrapping paper trimmer. So this is
that's cool.
Really just to cut wrapping paper, but it works so well for vinyl. So when you got that roll and you can just zip right through it.
Ooh.
Just kidding. So, and then when you're done, you can stick it in their little holder. So I've
never seen one of those
years ago after Christmas. And then I was like, wait a minute. And it ended up with my crafting and gift wrapping were all together when I was in that different house. And then I just tried it on the vinyl, but it works so well when you're cutting the vinyl rolls. Even these thicker ones, these thicker glitter ones, they do.
Nice.
I don't know. I think it's harder to cut them straight with the scissors, and I can just zip through with the paper trimmer or the wrapping paper trimmer. So we put that link in the comments too.
I had no idea. That's cool.
I wonder if they're really, really thin, it might be a little bit harder to use them on there, Miss Carrie. It kind of has to have, I don't know, you kind of almost have to have some pressure on there to get it. So that's why I actually folded this paper in half. So when it's thinner, it takes a little bit to get it started. And then there it's kind of got an uneven tear in it. So the thing is, then you just don't have two hands to hold it tight and then run this through. So, but when you're doing wrapping paper, if the foil's on a roll, then you could hold it with the roll on one. The roll would kind of hold it on one side, and then you could hold it with your other hand. So I don't know if that made sense, but it did in my head. Sweet. All right. Well, before we wrap up, I was going to see if you guys have anything that you want to talk about, to share with the audience. We appreciate you being here and being involved in the Home Decor Summit. If you have missed their sessions, you can catch them on the VIP, and the VIP is on sale through tomorrow. So it's normally $97. It's on sale right now for $57. You can grab that. You'll get all the replays. And then you also get a bonus pack, which has a ton of fun things in there for crafters, digital files, more lessons, paper crafting workshops, those kind of things. So we will drop the link to the VIP here in the chat. And if you guys have anything that you would like to shout out about, Terry, do you have something that you'd like to share?
Not really off the top of my head. Just check out some of the links that we posted. And, like I said, if you're interested in a Cameo 5, I put that link in there. It has, I linked a bundle that has the electrostatic mat with it. But no, I just, I'm going to have some upcoming events. So if on my website, which is just terryjohnsoncreates.com, there is a download for some free stickers. And they're in SVG format, so everybody can use them. And they're fall, but pretty soon I'll have some more spring ones up. And so I try to keep seasonal free downloads, so you can just download those free at my website. So
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. And then, like she said, she has her her club, her monthly club.
Right.
So we're just dropping that now. If you guys want to check that out.
Great.
We had just a couple questions pop up. So the shows have a 24 each day. There's a new set of workshops that are released. They're good for 24 hours, and then they expire, and a new set comes up. So somebody asked something about the Monday workshop that was out. So that one has expired. If you have the VIP, you can go back and watch all the workshops anytime you want. Rewind them, watch them 10 times if you want. And that one is in a separate portal. So you'll log in. It keeps track of what you watched. You can check them off as you go. Same with the VIPs. As you scroll through all the VIP bonuses, you can go through and check those off. And then somebody else asked about the giveaways. So if you're a registered attendee, there's a link in your emails. There's a link on the top of your main summit page. Go to the menu bar, and that will take you to the giveaway page. So you have to be a registered attendee in order to enter those. And then you can enter to win through noon tomorrow, Central Time. And then we will have them announced after that. So some of them will be posted that day, and then some of them might not be posted till Monday. Is the link with the swing design?
No, it's Silhouette America. That's the link I posted. And it has a bundle, like I said. It's the print and cut bundle, which includes a silhouette mat. And yeah. And also, if you purchase that there, I have a code, which is TJ Creates, and that saves an additional 5%.
So, somebody said something about, is it the workshops or the lives? So the live streams, the live sessions, those are all available over on YouTube, so you can go there. But the workshops that were released Monday were only available on Monday. So if you are looking for any of the live streams, if you go to my YouTube channel at We Can Make That, and then go to the little tab that says playlist, and there's a Home Decor Crafters Summit playlist, and all the lives are organized in one easy to find spot. So thank you for clarifying that, Pam. I didn't even think about those. Kathy says that her Amazon and her Walmart cards are fat right now.
Yes. It happens.
Same. I'm also going to have to go get the bow making thing that Julie shared with us too. Okay, so now, Elena and Michelle, do you guys want to talk about anything else that you have coming up? Elena, do you have something coming up? And then we'll work. Then we'll pull up Michelle's.
Sure. I speak at a lot of summits, so my next one will be Cricut Craft Fest. The promos for that begin on Monday. It's at the end of February, I believe. I don't know off the top of my head. Here's my project for it. I showed it the other day too.
Cute.
And I have a crafty events page on my website. So my website is blacksheep303.com. The menu bar across the top has a events button, crafty events. Just click on that, and I have all the events that I have info about up to this point listed there. Now that Cricut Craft Fest is not on there yet because the promos start Monday, so it'll be there Monday. Those are affiliate links for me, but you can also you'll get emails and stuff, I'm sure, from other people about those events if you like those events. Let's see, what else can I say? If you're interested in tools, I have a free giveaway if you want to join my email list on my website. So if you go to blacksheep303.com, at the top there's a banner across the top that says my 5 favorite tools to make your electronic cutting machine crafts faster. And I don't think I talked about any of those ones here today, interestingly enough.
So they'll be fun.
And they're more general. They're for like any cutting machine. So you can get that for free if you join my email list, if you're interested.
Awesome. All right. Thanks. Michelle.
Yes. So 12 by 12 cardstock shop, we have a subscription box that it's about a year old. So we've been doing it for about a year, but each month you get a selection of Encore cardstock. We start with a pretty color palette of 5 Encore shades, and then we build the box around it. So you get foil cardstock and glitter cardstock, all kinds of specialty, like sandable cardstock. We've done, for Halloween, we had like a spider web paper. So we really try to tailor the box around this pretty color palette and what's in season for this, whatever season it is. So check that out. We'll put a link to that. And those are fun just because you get the box. We do your personal shopping for you. It arrives. You get free shipping on the box. And then if you're a Cricut or Silhouette crafter, you also get a free SVG project. And we have free SVGs and then a class that goes with it. So, and that's just for subscribers. So this is starting February. It's not out yet, but the project for February, the box is like lavender and green and gold and yellow. And so we're making these are a couple of the cards we're making in the class, some vintage Easter cards. So be sure and check that out. It's just fun to have Happy Mail arrive on your doorstep every month.
Yeah. That is cute. Is it only a subscription, or do you have like one-off boxes?
It's just a subscription. If we end up having extra boxes, we do post those after the month is over. But if you buy it that way, you don't get free shipping and you don't get the class. You just get the cardstock.
Stock. There you go.
Yep.
All the more reason to join. That sounds fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
And you don't have to spend the time. You could just sit down and dive in. Aircraft.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. And does your coupon work on that?
It does not. No.
It's just the coupon is for the Encore cardstock.
Yeah, the coupon works on the Encore textured cardstock, right?
Okay. And is it available in Canada?
No. So we ship all our products to Canada, but there is international shipping charges. And the subscription box, because we offer free shipping, it's not available internationally, unfortunately.
Okay.
We're trying to fix that.
Right.
It's just so expensive to ship. Yeah.
Expensive. Yeah.
And cardstock is heavy, so it's even more expensive. So yeah.
Yeah. It might be harder to get it that far too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, ladies, for joining me today. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks.
Yeah. I made a list while you guys were talking, so now I got to
I know I have to go back through the comments, get people's links.
I know, right?
Yeah, right.
A couple times I tried to click on them and I'm like, wait, I can't click because I can't. It'll just click and then show it to you guys. So dang it. That's probably good. Probably save me some money that way.
That's not fun.
Yeah, I know. We all know I'm going to go buy it. But can we get the cardstock in a physical store or
No, it's online only. So our warehouse is in Provo, Utah. So if you happen to live around there or you're going to be traveling there, you can order online and then opt for in-house pickup, and you can just go to the warehouse and get it and save on shipping. But otherwise, it is all online. And the warehouse isn't really shoppable. You can't really show up and it's a warehouse. It's not a scrapbook store. So.
Okay, that's good. And then somebody asked if the comments are on the replays, and they will be. So it just takes them a little bit to populate, and then the replays will be out there. And you can go, I think I told you guys that you can go to the playlist. I don't know what I've said anymore. I don't know what I've said.
I'm sure.
I said it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not losing my mind. Okay. Well,
You need a vacation after this, Shelley.
Yeah. In the middle of it, you think you are. And then tomorrow I'm going to be like, that was fun. We should do it again next week. Okay. Well, thanks again for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. We'll let everybody go finish watching videos. The last day is up until 10 o'clock Central Time on Friday morning. And you have until noon to enter the giveaways. So that gives you a little bit of time after the videos are done to go finish the giveaways. So have a great day.
And my giveaway is a $100 Amazon gift card. So
Yeah, mine is too.
that'll help
Mine
you
is
buy
too.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy some stuff. Buy some tools.
There you
I
go.
love it. Don't forget to register. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Happy crafting, everybody.